Alright, hello, hello. Make sure that's all doing well there. Good to see you all. Certainly has been a while. We're changing it up today, that's for certain. Where's my... I got everything. I got my water bottle, which has some water, which is fine. So you've been having fun while waiting for me to get started. Been a good conversation going on there. So this is Dawn of War Dark Crusade. All on the PC. There's no console version for this game. But this is the second expansion of the Dawn of War series. There's one more after this. I prefer Dark Crusade. I know this one front and back pretty well. But I'd figure I would have a little fun, bring this back from the grave. It should be quite a good run here. We're gonna do the campaign mode here on this one. The campaign in the original game and the first expansion are more objective based, kind of like glorified tutorial missions. With Dark Crusade and the other expansion, Soulstorm, it changes the campaign mode quite a bit actually. We're gonna stick with easy mode here for this.
The planet
Can I even skip this cutscene? Yes, okay. So basically, there's a planet that everyone's fighting over to claim for their race and whatnot. But these are all the different factions that you can play as. There is no friendships here. I mean, these are all. So you get to choose which one you want to start off with, and we'll get into details as we're fighting them and whatnot. But we're gonna play as the Chaos. So this is the faction that I'm pretty familiar with. I'm probably the best of the best here.
The powers of chaos.
But the story behind is that each faction has a reason to claim this planet, either for their leaders, their gods, and whatnot. Space Marines gone bad, indeed. So this is the world map, as it were. It's split up into different sections, with factions controlling some territories. It's kind of like a Risk-style board setup. We have just the one territory. Our goal is to capture these major territories where these flags are at. We capture that, we eliminate that faction from this planet. As you can see, there's also these shield numbers here. That tells you the strength of that territory. So ones are pretty weak for us to go against, whereas like you see 12 for these factions, headquarters, 11s. These numbers can rise and fall depending on how they reinforce them and or how they get attacked and whatnot. No, I'm pretty certain they went bad because there was too many unicorns and dragons, and somebody had to whittle down the population. Gotta dismiss all the pop-ups. It'll tell, like, the first time you play through it, it gives you pop-ups to tell you what's going on and whatnot. So, it tells you also, like, all this stuff over here. The main thing we want to keep in mind is the bonuses that it gives us for conquering a territory. It gives us a unit. It'll either give us a unit or some sort of passive ability that we just will always have. The passive abilities typically are more heavily defended than just regular ones, but it's going to be a-okay. Let me see here, because there's a lot to explain. You can reinforce your territories by placing units, and eventually we can place down buildings as well. But that requires planet requisition, and you only get requisition at the start of your next turn. So you gotta be wise on how you spend requisition points. But we're just gonna go straight for the attack here. It's a strength of 1. When you go to attack a territory, it gives you better details. Like the enemy is a skilled combatant, likely consists of basic infantry, and the enemy has a single base. Kind of gives you an idea of what you're heading off into here. The map as well is pretty set in stone as far as like who has what territories and whatnot. The minor changes are based on what faction you pick. Because you always start with one faction, whereas the others start somewhere between 3 and 4. Other than that, like, the HQ places are in the same spots. The bonuses are all the same bonuses. As far as, like, which ones are the passive abilities, which one will give you hero units, as it were. So the game kind of expects you, when playing this, to know a little bit on how to play this game. It does require you. It just kind of just jumps you straight into it. Do I not have... Where? There we go. I guess for some reason that's unbuildable. Oh, it might be because I'm in the way. Let me try that. It's been a while for me. Yes, I was just in the way with my worker. As is usually the case when I'm trying to play this game. So, I'm building a couple of buildings here. This one over here is my barracks, essentially. That's going to build me my infantry units. This one, the armory, is what gives me upgrades for said units. And then at the HQ, we're going to make this cultist squad. They'll go around helping us to capture control points. The Chaos race in general is like a evil race that serves sort of the dark gods. And they've sort of become deranged as a result of said serving the dark gods. Just, it happens. There's 2 resources we have to keep in mind. We got requisition resources. This is kind of like your money, as far as everything requires that. Then we have this green one, which is power. I can only get power if I have these plasma generators. That's the only way to get them. And that's used for higher upgrades and whatnot. Like you can see, both of my little infantry units here require just requisition points. And then when I go for upgrades, it also wants me to have some power for that. We're gonna, I'm used to having a little bit more to work with sometimes. So these little points here, these are requisition points, or strategic points here. These will help increase my requisition income resource. This little plus number here tells me how much I earn per minute. It's been a while. That's basically, the more I have, the more I generate per second. And I just have to wait for less to get the amount that I want. There we go. Hopefully the sound is alright on your end as well. It's hard to tell sometimes. I didn't want it to be super loud. Actually, let me go capture that. I'll explain that later. This guy has my commander squad in there. He gives like a nice little boost if he's assigned to a squad. Oh, they're on the attack already. Okay. They're not messing around here. I'm gonna park them there. Just let them do their business. That's good. Didn't need to be super loud. So now that I got that control point, now it's at 32. The other thing to be aware of is that the longer the game goes, I slowly lose my requisition points per minute. Basically, I get less the longer I drag the game out. So I'm building these listening posts. You can build them on top of your strategic points, which does 2 things. It reinforces that strategic point so that they can't just go and recapture it. They have to destroy the post first. The second thing is it'll also increase my income rates. So that way, I can get money even faster. Alright, so these gold ones, these are called relics. They work pretty much the same way as regular strategic posts, but relics can unlock very special abilities or units if you manage to hold on to them for a while. So the more we can get those early on, the better. I'm gonna upgrade my fortress here. This is gonna unlock new abilities, new units, and whatnot. It's just a lot of back and forth here. Oh, so this is a slag depot. You can build it's a thermal plasma generator. It's just a bigger generator, but you can only build it on those excuse me, on those things. And I'm gonna need my headquarters add-on for that, but it's on its way. So it'll be all nice and dandy. Alright, so the listening post, you can also upgrade to give it basically a gun on top of it, and it increases the rate even better. Begin to see how, like, why they're called strategic points. Actually, I'll just take this guy.
We're here for the dark gods.
Because he's gonna need to build stuff anyway over here for me. So we're gonna let our commander stay here on guard duty. We got these guys here. Send them off here. But we'll be wanting to, yep. We're gonna be wanting to defend this depot from being attacked and the relic from being destroyed and captured. We want that to stay with us as long as possible. Got lots going on here. So I'm going against the orcs. The orcs are troublesome to work with. They can build a lot of units. They're typically weaker unit per unit versus most of the other races, but they go for the whole strength and numbers plot. Not a particularly big fan of it. Prefer just having enough units to get the job done, but it is what it is. I'll be able to build that later. I'm going to build a third generator. You can only build 6 generators per headquarters, which will realistically we'll get to 6 pretty quickly. I'm going to build a turret here which will strengthen this area's defense. There's this upgrade if you start running low on requisition points, but you have a lot of extra power, you can select that upgrade and it'll make it even better. So as you can see, this map's actually quite large. We don't know where the enemy actually is at. It's a bit troublesome, but we'll work with it. I'm gonna start moving units around and whatnot because we're gonna need to build some big stuff here, like my vehicle bay. That's a must. Vehicle bay allows me to build my tank units, which is super good. I'm gonna give my little commander squad here these bolter turrets, which will give them a longer range for shooting distances, but those guys specifically can't move, which is perfectly alright. I want them to hold still. But as you can see, this guy now is a little too close for comfort there. You can see this guy's carrying the big bolter turrets, and they just normally have these regular assault rifles. Good thing the guy I was looking at was getting the upgrade. So now they'll do better against defending from the infantry units. Where's my... Oh, right. I sent them all out here. Here we go.
My life is forfeit.
I gotta say, this is a little bit trickier without doing this without the keyboard. I'm doing that for a couple of reasons, but it should add a bit of a challenge overall. Let's go capture this relic. I really just want to see where they're at, kind of get an idea of where I should be going, because this is technically a 4-player map. It goes at each of these corners, so I don't know where their base is. It might be south. It's possible. Oh, yeah, look at that. If you interrupt capturing a post like that, they have to restart the progress, and it's alright, like, if you stop it and somebody doesn't capture it kind of deal, but if I capture while they're still capturing it, and like they take their hands off of the relic, then they have to restart the whole process all over again. I'm gonna move these guys back because they're not gonna be able to take that fight. Let them back up. So as you can see, they're now back to going to capture that again. Yep. Alright. Feel free to ask questions and whatnot as we keep going. I will just explain stuff as we keep going around. Run away, little guys. Here we go. Gonna build a defiler. This is gonna help me out a lot. As you can see, I can really only build 3 vehicles, and one of them is my transport vehicle for infantry. Thank you very much. I try my best. But the defiler is pretty much my all-round tank. Yeah, this is... I'm gonna lose that control post. It's fine. I don't mind losing that. I'm trying not to stretch myself out too thin. I did lose my cultist though, which is the sad part. There we go. So this bad boy is the Defiler. This is pretty much the best tank in the game, and I can still build a tank. That's the best part. I'm gonna upgrade the HQ, get that going, So this Defiler is about as crazy as it gets. He's got, in the center here, this big artillery cannon, which he can fire at long ranges. He's got this autocannon thing going on here for medium range to combat, a flamethrower for close range combats, and then these giant claws he's got for melee combats. So he's pretty much the everything tank. He's actually, like, pretty good. I do have to change. You can't see it entirely, but there's, like, I put the camera in the way because it's something I typically don't use. But I'm going to change. That's not the stance I want. Now, where's my stance? Yes. Stand ground stance. There we go. Right? You don't want these things invading your base in large groups. So I changed his, normally the stance that units have is a kind of assault stance where they'll chase an enemy until, you know, they're really retreating or they get out of sight. The Defiler actually has quite a bit of range. I didn't lose him. I was smart and put him over there. Even better. There we go. But the Defiler actually has a good range for sight, and he actually moves kind of quickly. And so there's a problem in which one of my Defilers will be halfway across the map because he's chasing down a foe. And I just want him to defend a space specifically. So, there's that. So, let me explain these numbers up here. You have a limited amount of squad numbers that you can have, essentially a supply limit. It's separated into infantry and vehicle caps. My headquarters here allows upgrades so that I can invest more points into those. So we're going to want to put that up. Some terrain does. The water here, most of the water at the very least, is always bad cover. Sometimes there's others, like moving into, sometimes there'll be like heavily forested areas, which will give defensive cover. Sometimes there's probably not any on this map. Sometimes there's like big craters where units will move slower, but they get a big defense bonus as a result. So some strategic element there. Sometimes holding a position inside a crater can help quite a bit. All right. So, one of the things I need this relic for is this particular upgrade from my vehicle bay, the Chaos Energies. This will allow these tanks that I'm going to be building shortly, that allows them to upgrade to produce essentially anti-building, anti-tank weapons instead of just having that anti-infantry stuff. The other thing is this big demon pit that we're going to be building will allow me, holding that relic allows me to build a better, big, crazy units that we'll be using, I'm sure. So I'm just going to start building units, getting upgrades done and whatnot. Kind of explain stuff as I go. All these upgrades are pretty much just making, like, commanders and or units a little bit more stopping power for their things. Most units that you build come in squads, essentially, which you can reinforce directly. So this cultist squad has 11 units total, with 10 of them being regular units, and then a champion who's kind of like the squad leader of the group. And then with my commander in this squad, we're going to be upgrading him all the way. I think it's to 11 as well, with him being in the squad there. So these Crone Berserkers, they're very weak in ranged units. Very weak ranged units, but they're very strong in melee stuff. Which is good because they like to charge into the battle and go into melee stuff. The Raptors, kind of the same deal, but they're a little bit weaker in melee. A little bit stronger in ranged combats. Not to mention that they can jetpack around. It's a set distance, but as you can see, it's quite a distance that they could start jumping around in. I typically don't. I don't typically use their jetpack ability. I just use them more as sort of a mobile, moving squad. Most units, I should say, can fire and move at the same time, but moving units have less accuracy for shooting. So you gotta be aware of that. Some races have upgrades that actually help lower that down a bit, but other than that, it's not much. There's one of my tanks. Most of the time you're gonna wanna hold your people still so that they get the best accuracy. So this sorcerer is a commander type unit, one of the secondary ones as it were. I'm gonna attach him to this squad. He's got like a little bit of firepower and whatnot. If I need the situation, I can cast like these evil magics. He's basically a sorcerer. He's got these magic abilities that he can cast at range. Just helps out a little bit in that department. So these predator tanks here, I can give them 3 upgrades. I can replace either their main cannon or the side cannons that they've got going on here. I know I haven't quite figured it out. They're either going to be far left or down, but we'll be finding them. We're going to be hunting shortly. Yeah. So what I'll do with the tanks, what I like to do is I'll give one the twin-linked las cannons, and then I'll give the other one the side cannons. This kind of helps balance out for a mix of infantry / tank and building units. Gives them both incredible stopping power with that. We're gonna build 2 more units here. Oh, I forgot to do. Yes, I need all this stuff here. So we want these units here. They're gonna be part of the squad. This will be an upgrade, which we'll explain later for this possessed squad. But this building also has powers or upgrades that increase the health and damage of my commander units, as well as give them more abilities to use on the field. Oh, I'm running low on strategic points. That's unusual. I have a whole bunch too. It's the crazy part. Let's use the full-scale research. This is what happens when you spend all your money in one place. Alright, so I got my little squad. These guys, the horror squads, I have to summon them onto the field, kind of just drop them in. But you can bank them inside that building and claim them when you need to. These guys are built pretty much specifically for vehicle and building combat. Very weak against pretty much anything else, but very useful in taking out those 2 things. A lot of the... yeah, I need to start upgrading my strategic sites. It is true. It is true. Been going around just willy-nilly. But they can be upgraded to these heavily fortified positions. That one just needs to even just reach its first one, honestly. But there we go. Get another upgrade. Oh, I need more points. Of course I do. But we're almost there. To be fair, this upgrade, this unit here, the Bloodthirster, it's a 400/400. It's quite expensive, on top of the 240/75. I also have to summon those units to the field as well. There we go. The Obliterator squad. These, the Obliterators here are actually very powerful. I can only have so much in a squad, but they have essentially this rotating set of weapons where they'll change based on whoever they're told to attack. But they can take on anything: infantry, tanks, buildings. They'll adjust to that. So this possessed squad here, they're a very strong melee type of unit, but the upgrade that I got for them gives them a flame breath attack, so it gives them a little bit of range as they start running towards their target. There's another thing I haven't mentioned about yet. It's the morale meters. Some of my units you can see have these blue numbers. That's the strength of their morale. The higher it is, the more confident they are in battle. If a unit loses their morale, their attack strength drops dramatically, their accuracy drops, and basically they're much easier to kill with the morale being dropped, right? Gotta keep that morale up high. Some of the Chaos units I have, for instance, the Obliterators, the Corn Berserkers, Possessed Squads, they don't have a morale bar, meaning that they can never be broken. In the lore, this would be, they're insane. They're so insane that they've lost all reasoning anyway, so they can't be broken. I feel confident in saying all vehicles can't lose their morale. It's only an infantry thing. Yeah, I can make groups, as is the standard with RTS games. However, I mentioned it very briefly, but a challenge that I'm doing here is doing this without the keyboard. This is just mouse, which is pretty crazy. But this is the squad pretty much that I go with. These 2 tanks, one of each of my infantry units that I want, and you just go for it. Make sure they're all reinforced and upgraded. Oh, there's a commander unit who teleported right next to my commander, who also was sitting in the middle of the army, so that did not work out well for him. That commander that teleported in is the secondary commander, and that guy really likes to teleport everywhere. He doesn't just it's just something that I see the orcs love to do. I'm like, really, guy? But he's kind of like the sorcerer of my group. Have you not captured that yet? That's crazy. Not gonna capture it now. And these little guys. These are his worker units. All right, I'm gonna start capturing that. It's possible at this point that he's expanded towards a second location with a second headquarters. Not that it's gonna be a problem for me to deal with. So the Bloodthirster unit I made can only be summoned with a very specific unit, and we'll get to showing him off eventually. There's my Obliterators finally working their way over. Had some time. It's a little bit, when you're moving an army even of this size, it can be a little bit clunky getting your army around to the map. There we go. On easy mode, I'm not really worried about this. It just means I have to be, because I'm doing this without the keyboard, I just have to be careful and kind of commit to when I'm moving my army and when I can go back to base. Because if I had this control grouped, I would just press 1 on my keyboard and then I have my army selected again. But since I don't, I would have to regroup them all up by click dragging mouse. So that's why I need to kind of commit to doing one or the other. You can also, another thing I'll do is I'll usually will set a control group for like my HQ so that I can quickly go back to base if I need to, like rebuild units, just strengthen up my base defenses and whatnot. So let's get moving down this way. There's a little side path here. Probably not anything, honestly. I doubt they're hiding a building there. There we go. He's got it. He's got listening posts. I think we shall. Oh, there's a commander unit. Hello there. You can see that little red ring there. That was what broken morale looks like. It's the saddest. It's a sad day when that happens. The other thing I should mention, a lot of my units here, like, all weapons deal some morale damage. Some weapons are really good at inflicting morale damage, like the fire-breathing possessed chaos here. The fire breath I give him lowers morale pretty quickly. The flamethrowers I gave to my jetpacks lowers morale quickly. Corn Berserkers are just crazy. Their melee attacks also lower morale. So that's like one of the strengths of the chaos is they're very good at just in general lowering morale. There's like other units for other races that there's like snipers from one race that like like if they kill a person from range, like it's an instant morale drop, but that's like their only real unit with that. All right, since we're on top of his HQ, I'm gonna summon the Bloodthirster. So I have to select basically the unit that allows me to get it. Where is he? I don't know. We'll see him. There he is. This guy. Oh no! I didn't think we were gonna kill him that quickly. That's the Bloodthirster, by the way. We didn't get to see him be all cool and dandy. But every time we gain a victory on a map, we gain a champion, and then there's sort of achievements where we get war gears, which will strengthen our commander unit somehow. So these are all upgrades, as it were. They each do different things. Yeah, the champion's going to be pretty cool. We'll get to see him soon. But basically, we give our champion a piece of gear, and it'll tell you what that specifically does. Like the gauntlets here, if I click that, it physically does change his appearance, but it also increases damage and health. So that's pretty good. I'm also going to give him the Helm of Lorgar, which reveals infiltrated units and increases his melee damage and health as well. And you can see every time, like, these numbers will change when I select the upgrade. So now he's got a cool helmet. And that just helps him be all cool and whatnot. And then we'll just end our turn there. So now I have this piece of territory. That's pretty good. So this is all the enemies' turns during their stuff. On easy mode, they're a little bit more relaxed. And they typically fail their attacks most of the time, so we're not typically worried about that. The cool helmet is vital indeed. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my commander. So this commander screen shows you all the other things, and also who's in your honor guards, these units that we've got, that we've acquired. We have to spend the planetary requisition to get him, but now when we go to our next map, we're going to have an extra unit with us. As you can see here, this shows you who you'll be jumping in with. Same stuff as always. It's still going to be the orcs. It's a strength of 3, so it'll be a little bit harder to attack, but it's not that much of a difficulty jump. So now you can see I've got this Raptor champion. He's the only one in his little squad, but I can send him around to go capture stuff. Very useful off the bat. Get the commander into position. This looks like that's the only ramp into my base. So we're going to try holding out there, making it, just kind of make it a choke point, as it were. There you go. I can't place any buildings in fog, even if the fog is within my area. So I kind of have to sometimes just make the best of a scenario here. Alright, get that going there. So now he's just going to start capturing the relic. It's very handy. Very handy indeed. It's a nice way to just get an edge on your opponents, help you out a bit. It becomes also useful because you can get plenty of honor squad units, and so you can really start, like, once you start going through the campaign, you can start acquiring strategic points very quickly, which is good because the enemy does get slightly stronger over time, as it were, and especially as you get nearer and nearer to their base. Alright, I'm going to send this guy down here because that relic is soon going to be captured. Get Space Marines so that way we can hold our ground. That way our commander here isn't all alone. This is just the saddest thing. He does have this Auspex, which also reveals enemy units, like it places like a little ward. Oh, no! Get him! Get him! Get him! No, 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 no. Please go get him. I actually want you to. Oh, and he's being followed by their big commander. No! No! Where's my squad? I'm used to having one of those commanders being on the run. Oh, good. We got that guy. Alright. The good news with, Alright, you can come back. The little green circle tells you that, like, that's the commander. You can see I have like a red circle around mine. In easy mode, the enemy health is halved compared to normal and hard mode. Does make it quite easy to work with. Alright, I'm gonna capture that strategic. I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna send them out, capture that point. This looks like, yeah. So this, it's an orange dot on the map, but this is a critical location. It works in the same way that we can capture it for strategic points and whatnot, but I can't build on a critical location. What it does do is it lights up a good section of the map. Like you can see, like it's a small amount. Like once I see an enemy on the edge here, you know, they're in range for an attack. Nothing much I can do about it. But a critical location lights up a much larger area. Very useful to have. Alright, another location claimed for the chaos. Which is good because I'm going to need more points. I'm going to send this guy back down just to help guard the relic point. I can't really lose that. Would not be advised.
Anything for the great powers.
Let me see. I have these buttons to show me where my builder units are at. Very useful because there's a lot that goes on. And we need to build multiple locations. It gets pretty bad. So when I walk into this water here, we should see like little crossed out shield signs. No, this is safe water. I'm not used to that. We're backing up, by the way. We're backing up. I'm gonna reinforce like crazy because they're going crazy. This turret, this listen post won't even have a turret on it. Okay, he's backing up. I knew he had to be close because it's the notification said that he had captured a location, a critical location. Alright, now I need you. Yep, it was safe water. It's all fun and games until somebody crosses the bad stream. Alright, so they're now going to town on my little things. They're now just trying to buy time for my turrets to get back up and running. Are you chasing? No! Stop it! This is why we don't have nice things. Go get him. Go get him, champion. Alright, they got their jetpacker units, but now I've got a turret thing up and running. Alright, I'm gonna have to send my units here. Yeah, no, that's fine. You just land right there. They can jump twice, of course. It's going well. It's going well. Oh, they are going to town. It's gonna be fine, though. Oh, I think you killed my worker constructing that. Great. But it's okay. I'm gonna do the Berserk Fury. This is gonna... It's gonna decrease their defense so they'll take more damage, but it's gonna greatly increase their attack. Well worth it. Well worth that trade. It only lasts for a couple seconds. Alright, let's regroup, refocus, get back on the job here. 1, 2, 1, 2, yep. That's it, that's all I got. Let's go repair that thing. Taking out a commander unit, even like their big commander units, isn't typically a huge problem. You can just rebuild it. It does cost money, but it's usually, it's not the biggest, like biggest upsets. You just go back in the fight and go crazy. Alright, I gotta wait. We gotta upgrade our headquarters. I will lay down another power supply, though, so we can get just some of that going. More jetpackers, I can tell by the way they move. Leave my worker alone. Oh, he's done. He's done. I'm gonna go ahead and actually build a turret on the front lines, because they're pretty insistent on trying to get through here like crazy. So we'll just reinforce this position. Shouldn't be a problem now that I have a full squad. Mostly full squad. I lost one of my guys. No! No! Luckily, I think they're attacking the building. Which is okay. I'd rather have them attack the building than attack the worker. Already lost one. The problem with this map is it's a very small map compared to the last one, and it's just straight across. You just go across the river, and everything's fine and dandy. Alright, let's get this worker at least back home. Because we're going to be building multiple buildings. We just got our headquarters level up. There's not really a good spot to place that, unfortunately, but it's a small area base we've got. Kind of have to deal with it. Let's get upgrades rolling here. I don't need that because I no longer have a cultist squad. That's unfortunate. Not used to that. Usually still have a cultist squad going around. Oh, they sent quite a squad, but no match when you have a turret, a listening post upgraded, and my little kill death squad here for infantry units. And it's the only way, yeah, across the river, except for this way, I believe. I think, nope, they can't go through that way either. So yeah, that's why it seems like they're attacking more aggressively, because this is the only way to get to anywhere on my side. But it works the same way as well for, you know, for them. I can only attack going straight across the river, right up the center. So, and they at least have one of the control critical locations, right? Gotta build those defilers. I should be fine with one, and it should pretty much be a nice defense unit there for me. But yeah, that is the idea. We just defend, get the stuff we want up and running, and then we should be good. I need more generators. I'm not used to that either. Although, to be fair, that happens a lot more often. I usually have enough power, like enough requisition resources, but not enough power to go with. And there's no, unless if this is like a slag, yeah, there's no slag depots here, so I only have so much power that I can generate at once. So here we go, got this defiler now. He's gonna go now. We'll do ranged, the stand ground, so he doesn't go chasing after the orcs. If we place him here, basically nothing should get through. Now we got our tanks. I'm gonna upgrade the building first. It's pretty expensive and it takes a while to get through all that. Just start building different units. I can build one more plasma generator, but I need a little bit more money. I can't build it there apparently. Not enough room, I guess. Alright. The funny thing about heretics, specifically with the chaos, is you can do the forced labor. It's a toggle switch on and off, but it forces them to build faster at the cost of draining their health, and they don't regen their health. They're stuck with what they've got. I'm gonna have to move them a little bit closer to help protect that turret, because they've now got their little track tanks. This is like their light vehicle, this thing shooting rockets for days. Very useful against buildings and vehicles. Although I believe it is more effective against vehicles than it is against buildings, but as you can see, it does a lot of work. But nobody can get past me. Except for those jetpackers that can jump twice in a row. That is not something to be aware of. Alright. Let's get all this rolling here. Yeah, I'm gonna need more vehicle. Cap limit up and running. Oh, I need more requisition. I should start upgrading. I could at least get that upgrades. But it'll be fine. We just got the headquarters fully upgraded. That's all the tech tree unlocked. Right? It's a solid defense. Got turrets. We'll have that upgraded. That's going to be a big thing there. Just need a lot of requisition points to get that. But it's okay, because it'll also increase my rate. Alright. There's those units. There's gonna be tank 1. And it's a good beauty. Chaos energies will be on its way. Gonna have to sit tight for a second. The plasma generators also have their power grid research things, which increases their power resource rates, but requires a bunch of requisition points to get that upgrade started. So it's a little tricky. It's a fine balance sometimes. You gotta figure out what you want to do and how you get it. But we just got our research for increased requisition points. Gotta wait till 330 for power on this guy. That's takes a bit of work. Oh, and I have to do another population limit. The nice thing about this is that you can see it's still building the units. Once there's room for it to build the tank, then it makes it so that it'll pop the unit out once it's done completing. It's actually a very nice modern feature that you can build units and just keep them in the queue. It only builds one at a time, so it only have one completed every single time, but it's very useful to have. I'm gonna let's see. Now we'll do the research upgrade for that, get some more power flowing. And we should be almost ready. We can start doing chaos energies, which is good because I have a lot of stuff to upgrade. But the good news is they've stopped attacking. They've lost a couple units here and there. You know, I don't want to number it and seem like I'm winning, but that's fine. Alright, almost there to 400. Almost, there we go. The problem is I already have all 6 of my generators, so I can't really commit any more resources to that. But that's why we're getting the upgrade. So each generator by itself produces 10 power per minute. So we're kind of stuck with 60 for quite a while. Until we get this upgrade going and it'll shoot up like crazy. Got it. Okay, I can do that one at the very least. And get that upgrade. I'm going to skip out on that just because I need to get other stuff. There we go. So 79 now. 60 to 79. It's surprisingly much faster. Like, it doesn't seem like a difference of 19 would be enough, but trust me, that's enough to really get stuff going. And then this next upgrade, which increases the requisition even more, only requires 350 requisition. And since I get that a lot more often, I can easily build that. This big building, by the way, it's only 100 power, 100 requisition points. Very worth getting that building. Yeah, not too shabby. Alright, that will cap my limit there. We're gonna... I guess I'll just only do that. Oh, they're firing tanks again. At my poor turret. He's there for good reason, though. Oh, they are trying very hard to get through here now. They're trying now. There goes the turret. But it's okay, we've got all the stuff. Yeah, he's going. There's my Defiler doing his best work. Yeah, that was an artillery shell he launched. Ah, yes. You can see his artillery shell takes longer to reload, but it's very useful. So we're gonna send our squad up here a little bit to help take care of this, because he's taking a beating. I'm gonna have to probably build another one at this rate. Gonna have to, I think, move even closer. Okay, go up there. Go up there. That's fine. It's a little bit tricky. These rockets can slow him down, kind of like stun him for a little bit. Makes it harder to move. Yep, gonna have to build another Defiler. Which is fine, this has been generating resources for me. Yeah, this was a crazy offense. They tried their darndest. There we go. So my infantry will heal up. The Defiler will not. I have to manually repair him. But I think it's just going to be easier if I just build another one and just place him there. Alright, get that research going. Give the upgrades here that I want. And that's good. Used up a good number of resources. And still have enough to deal with. Alright, yeah, I'm going to lose that Defiler. The tanks, these little tiny tanks are quite bothersome. But it's okay. Because now he's moving into range. And my second defiler is now out and about. You can click on these icons and it helps out quite a bit. I'm going to leave him on his hold ground stance kind of thing. He'll chase a bit. Or a lot, as is usually what happens. Oh, he's got big units now. Yep. So this is good that I'm powering up for a big squad, because I'm going to need it. I'm going to need it. Do I have the upgrades? I got the breath attack. That's fine. That's the most important upgrade for those units there. Start reinforcing their... Oh, I need more strategic points. Here we go. Takes quite a bit. Only generated 103 per second. So we just gotta... It's not like I have to wait or anything anyway, so... That's all good. Alright, these ones are definitely most expensive at 80.25, but... You only get 2 of those, so... Making it a total squad of 5. Well worth it, though. Get them fully supported. They'll be fine. Give these guys their flamer weapons. They'll be simple. And then we can go on the offense. Ugh. You'd think I'd be better at patiently waiting it out for this. I'm not. I'm not. I'm used to just instantly going in there, getting all that. Right? It might be smart, but we'll be going for the offense here, so... I lost one of my units. No. And it was, of course, it was one of the bolter units. Of course it was. But we're going to be going... Yeah, if I needed to hold the line longer, like, it would make more sense to have a builder unit so that it can go repair and whatnot. But we will be going on the offense here. Their offensive capabilities are no longer going to be a problem for us. So let me get these guys out on the front. Make sure they get through the maze. The maze I've set up here with all these units. Left some space so that they could work through. There we go. There's a big group right there. Alright, where's my jetpackers? There they are. Yeah, there's the big boys. They're running scared. They got places to defend. Alright. Let's go summon the Bloodthirster this time. So it always consumes the leader unit, the little commander unit. Well worth it though. There he is. Just knocks my troops aside. But that's the mighty Bloodthirster. Biggest demon of them all. I guess we go this way. I think it tells me. I'm not as... Actually, this might be the way I'm supposed to go. I think it's this way, because there's the command post. Strategic point there. Yeah, the Bloodthirster is crazy. He is incredibly strong. Going to be very useful for all these units here. But he's got powerful melee attacks. You can see just sends units flying. He's pretty much good at everything. He has a lot of health. The downside is that when he's not battling a unit or a building, he loses health. So I only have this guy for a limited amount of time. But he's got like, so these guys are 11,000 health. He's got like 35,000 health, something like that. And this is a combined health total of all the units in that squad too. That's not like an individual health unit. As units die, the max health will actually decrease. But yeah, the Bloodthirster just by himself is basically a walking building of destruction. Dang it, this is also taking me to the relic. Not familiar with how this map should be set up. But at least we get to see the Bloodthirster do his thing. Yeah. He'd do pretty well against the big elder guy, the Flamebringer. I know he's stronger, technically speaking, than the elder's big units, But the Elder, I believe, also, like, that unit actually gives, like, bonus abilities and whatnot. I need to find where your headquarters is at. Why are you parked next to a relic, by the way? Like, I had to go all the way around to go grab my relic, but apparently this is somewhere nearby. Yeah. Okay, technically it's the same way, it's just I was facing... I had to face my... Like, he was facing his just off to the left. Mine was up and around. There you go. Destroyed the enemy HQ. Beautiful. And so this puts me in a very good location. Oh, he's gonna go attack Necrons. And he actually won. I'm impressed. Thank you very much. A good job indeed. Failed there. Going after the Imperials. Used to seeing the failures. So this puts me in a good spot to go after the Orcs. Now, I should be fine with this guy. I believe he has to go to this building, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And they typically... Like, they don't typically go after me on my headquarters thing. But it's a bit tricky sometimes. The map isn't always clear-cut on how territories work. But I am gonna be ending it there. Oh, Hobbs, I see you went to sleep now. It'd be pretty cool. Might be a little bit confusing to do multiplayer with both looking at it or whatnot, like hearing the stream and doing all that. But yeah, no, this was pretty fun. Glad I got to do it. But yeah, we'll have to see what we can do. I only have, because of it being Windows 8, I only have the... Oh, right, yeah. No, that's good. That's what you meant. I was like, oh, multiplayer would be pretty crazy. But yeah, no, I do plan to do this. So, one of the reasons I wanted to do this game was because I could play this game with just a mouse, which sounds weird, like, with all the games I have been playing, you know, the randomizers, all the other games been using a controller. But Tuesday, I managed to injure my hand, and not in a fun way either. It was managed to cut my hand open a bit. So that, and the problem is that the area is pretty close around the thumb, so I can't actually, like, it's probably a little bit hard to see the bandage that I have going on there. But it's it's not a fun cut, so that's for certain. So I have that. That hand is now on the mend. But I was like, well, like, I can't use my thumb, which pretty much negates most of my stuff. Yeah, luckily the wound is healing nicely. The cut wasn't deep, thankfully. It's just a long gash. But we cleaned out, we seriously cleaned out the wound pretty well, sealed it up, and we're just kind of letting it heal up, making sure that it seals up again. But we went through like 3 different bandages just to make sure that the wound was cleaned, healed, and whatnot. It was a fun day Tuesday. But Tuesday was also fun because the internet went out, and it was definitely not on our side. Something was wrong with our ISP. It was so bad, parts of their website, like their support pages and whatnot, were just non-functioning. That's how bad it was. So it was out for several hours. But lesson learned here is that if I lose the internet, that's all my adult supervision gone. The internet is my last stand for keeping me uninjured. But yeah, Tuesday was a fun day. I was like, well, like, that's not doing that again. But I'm not in pain. Like, it didn't even honestly hurt that bad. It stung a bit when I first encountered it. Cleaning the wound out with alcohol pads, that was excruciating, but all necessary to make sure that it doesn't become infected. But I'm not on medicine. I'm not in pain, and as long as I don't move the thumb, like, it's fine. But it's been Yeah, no, and it hurt a lot. That was not a fun day. I was like, well, no, and the youngest brother, like bedside manner, was definitely his strong suit because he's got the alcohol pad and he's holding my wrist, not firmly, but making sure that he can clean it and move my hand as it needs to. But he looks at me and goes, "You're gonna feel this." And boy, was he not wrong about that. It hurts so bad. I was like, that is easily. And the thing too is like, it's a little bit easier to show, but the cut goes across like this section of the thumb, and there's a good number of nerves attached to your whole hand. So I felt that pain everywhere as he was cleaning it out. But yeah, no, super helpful. Yeah, just across a good chunk of the meat. It's not a good cut. They say that. They say they don't hurt, they don't sting so much, but let me tell you, they all sting. It's a matter of how long do they sting. That's like, luckily the pain subsided pretty quickly. Like, you just get used to the excruciating fire that's running through. The saliva, yes. Hobbs was telling me it's also saliva, which I'm like, Hobbs, that doesn't work for humans. It doesn't do that. But yeah, no, it's fine otherwise. I'm letting it slowly heal. I'm not going to be able to do my videos, right? Practice the Lamaze breathing. It's good stuff there. But yeah, no, I won't be able to do the videos on my YouTube. I'll have to at least take a week off for that. But I do want to do streaming, and I will come back and do some more of the campaign stuff because there's still more things to show off here in this campaign. But I like this campaign mode. It was very well done. It's a shame that they haven't brought it back for like the sequels and whatnot, but it does good. But it's all good stuff. But thank you very much for joining. I guess it would be Monday when I come back. We'll see if my hand has healed by that point in time. Would be almost a week when I stream again, but I'll definitely at least do this. I'll be babying the hand because we're pretty certain that this wound will need some time just to heal and get my strength back in my hand again. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekends. I will go heal up, relax, do the try to keep myself entertained with only playing video games with one hand. It's a good time indeed. But thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Take care, everyone.